way of life. Is there a place for all hopeless sinners who has hurt all just save his soul? Believe one together, be all one love. Be together, be all right. Let's get together to fight this beyond the beyond. Be all right. Let's get together to fight this beyond the beyond. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Workers' Voice. Good night, good night. I hope you listening to us tonight from studios of Q95 in downtown Roseau. I'm your host this evening for the Workers' Voice, Hector Sparks John. And we just want to welcome each and every one of you. You will listen to Sports Rap with Lockett Sebastian, Lobby, Thompson Fountain, Dr. Thompson Fountain, and also Miss Lander right here on Q95. But now you're in with the Workers' Voice, and as we do every Thursday, last week Thursday we were in Woodford Hill for one of our meetings. So this evening we are back in studio. Next week we'll be out again. So with you. But tonight we're going to touch on the issues as we always do here at Workers' Voice on behalf of the for leadership of our party or political leader Dr. Thompson Fountain or President Mr. Lennox Linton and every other member of the executive of our party. I just want to welcome you to Q95 and the Workers' Voice. Yes, tonight we just want to also touch those of you who have lost loved ones around the island. Tomorrow it will be the burial of Mrs. Elta Daly in Salisbury, so the mom of David Shillingford and all the others. Just want to extend sympathies to you once again on the passing of her mom. Just want to extend sympathies to the family of the young man, young Brumant, died some time ago. He'll be buried on Monday, about a month ago. So he lives somewhere in River Estate. Just want to extend sympathies to his family. I think he was a student at the SMA. Just want to extend sympathies to his family and to all those around Dominica who have lost loved ones. Mr. Thomas Etienne from Daly's former Minister of Government in the First Labour Party regime. He also ran for the United Workers' Party in the Lapland area. So just want to extend sympathies to Bevin, Mikey, Gladstone, and all the others down in Daly's on the passing of a statesman, Mr. Thomas Etienne. So just once again, just want to reach out and touch each and every one of you. You know how we normally do it here at Q95 in terms on Workers' Voice. Just want to reach out to each and every one of you and just play this one for you, Gracefully Broken. Just lift your worship right there in this moment. Mr. and Mrs. Winston Prosper in Kulibistri. Having these hands and multiply. Bertil Vidal in Salisbury. T. That I am and find my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire. Set me on fire. Erasmus Law, you're not doing too well in the hospital. Good evening to you. Having these hands and multiply. God. That I am and find my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire. Ask him. Set me on fire. Here I am. Arms wide open. Now my life. Gracefully broken. the family of Kitchener Laville along there in Atkinson. Good evening to you. Good night to you. Strong to the end, you will. Your this in me, you won't forsake. You will be with me. Joseph Hunter in Kalibishi. Here I am, arms wide open. Pouring down my life, gracefully broken. We have a good friend in Kalibishi who always listens to the program. Good evening to you and your family in Kalibishi, and also to the mayor of Placerville, Mr. Morrison Joyce. Yes, arms wide open, gracefully broken. And just want to reach out and touch each and every one of you. We're not doing too well. Your family is not doing good. You lost a loved one. I just want to reach out to you. Sympathies to you and the family on behalf of the United Workers' Party. Just want to touch each and every one of you tonight, listening to us at home and abroad. Welcome to the Workers' Voice. And tonight we are having studios with me from the Rose of Central Constituency, Mr. Glenroy Soso Coffee. So welcome.
Oh, yeah. Good evening, Sparks, to you, Honorable Dr. John. You're a man of great resilience and fortitude. And I always say I admire your characteristic tenacity and even your independence of thought. So thanks for having me with you, a very honorable man. Let me just say good night to every Dominican, wherever you are, whether you're overseas, whether in the country. To the Roseau Central constituents, a very good night to you, to our executive members of the United Workers' Party and the wider United Workers' Party family, and also Dominicans at large. When we have our program, there is nothing like party. We speak to Dominicans because we want each and everyone on board. We are a party of preaching inclusion, and we mean it by our words, and we're asking everybody to join us. You cannot have everybody, but we know we are, soliciting support through our programs and to say, we are here with you cruising, and as usual, it will be a very informative program. And also, we expect your participation because without your participation, I don't think we could have it right because your say is always important. Do you agree with me, Honorable Sparks?
For sure. And as I said, that we just want to touch the people of Salisbury Coalition Monrachet. I said hi to a few people about the constituency of Salisbury Coalition Monrachet. So something is right now we're in the atmosphere, the environment, of graduations, and you have a lot of students moving from one stage to the other in terms of their academic life, and you just want to congratulate all those who have graduated or going through the transition from preschool to primary school to secondary school, and those who are looking at moving to the state college and also university. So I just want to congratulate each and every one of them of our young men and women who have graduated at home, abroad. Just want to congratulate them on their achievements and wish them all the best. We see a lot of bad things about young people this, young people that, and when we get the opportunity to big them up, encourage them, motivate them, and drive them in the right direction, we fall short sometimes. So tonight, we want to take the opportunity to really congratulate them and wish them all the very best.
Yes, and I too would like to congratulate all of the graduates from the various secondary schools. It is just sad, Sparks, that sometimes, the next step is where you go in. Some will continue to pursue their education, whether they go to college, and subsequent to that, probably to go to university to achieve their basic, the BSc, and maybe go up to a master's, even probably to a doctoral level. But as we stand today, it is sad that we know a number of persons students have been have graduated, and graduation ceremonies continue. And we know of, by the way, the low attendance rate at school before graduation. So it means that even before, prior to graduation aspect of it, we've had a number of high school students dropping out. And that is a big concern to everyone. I think the ministry has recognized the high rates, and I think they say they want to put something in place to ensure that they can curb on it. But it seems that people choosing the world of work, students choosing the world of work as opposed to go to school. So it's an opportunity cost, but giving up one thing to catch another, giving up school to go to work. Probably not in the world of work today, do not get the kind of work that they want to sustain their livelihood. But I just want to say too, the situation is sad because we have to understand if at all a large number of students who have graduated are not interested in pursuing further education, what is it that they're going to do? And this is my biggest concern. And so it is always wise that government policies direct at, good policies to ensure that all of these socioeconomic problems have been curbed and to make sure that we make adequate preparation for those who are living in school and to have things, In fact, while I'm on that, even before that, I had a conversation with someone last week, and it wasn't very interesting. The person said that at her establishment, they received a number of applications, and when the students came in, when the people who applied, young people, they came in, they said, "But you applied, you are that age. Why are you not at school?" They said parents cannot afford to send them to school. So it's amazing. I don't know whether or not that is an indication that the brain drain is going to be alive and well in our country. But even before people have actually acquired a good education, they're actually backing off. And even those who are actually have good academic levels and they are trained, they are leaving. So I think now it has come a point now that we have to evaluate. And the United Workers Party, by the way, and it's even by the 10 pillars, strategic pillars that the leader has enunciated with respect to where we are heading. I think education is fundamental. So education reform is very important. And so we hope that with the ongoing graduation and in pursuit of students wanting to continue their education, academic levels or academic backgrounds or academic education, we wish them well, but it is a sad situation because the prevailing environment is really not right for them to come out and say, well, look, I'm guaranteed a job. And so a number of the parents are not even working as well too. So it's just a sad situation. So we are just in a sad situation.
Yes. Let us see quickly. Somebody sent me a message that Geraldine Monrachet, John Baptist, said is at the hospital zone to say good evening to her and the family. Yes, as we continue that discussion, it's very important that we highlight the situation that we have. Not we in a dicey situation. You have people leaving, and you have people there who cannot even go to school. But one of the major element that is missing right there is skills training.
Well, yes.
You have a lot of children dropping out because they cannot keep up with the academics, just the books and the books and the books. But some of them want to use their hands, and that is where we are lacking because before your parent would take you to the kitchen and teach you how to cook. Your mom would take you in the kitchen to teach you how to cook. By this age, you 7, 8, you know how to cook and turn on the stove and fry your egg and make your own tea. And then the young men would be able to go into the farm with their dad, to change the goats, to carry water to water the plants and whatnot. So you have hands-on training from a very early age. Your brother is a contractor. During the weekend, you go with him to carry blocks and to mix them water. So you started early.
Oh yes,
right now. But now you have a challenge right now where you don't even have that opportunity at the school level. You had the JSP program. My brother-in-law was a principal of Salisbury Primary School, and Salisbury Primary School was the hub for the Western district. So he taught as the principal, but he's a teacher. He taught the skills, joinery and those things. So you had the skills training right there at the JSP program, and you had children moving from JSP who were a bit slow with the skills and enter high school at second form or fourth form, and they became very successful individuals. Right now, we have these young men and women on the roadside. What are they doing? You don't have the opportunity to at least go and do some skills training. I think through the youth division, you had some modules around the island where you do some trainings, and you don't have that anymore.
Yes, and that is why it is important that people who do not do well academically, and not just does not do well, you have to give them a choice. And that is why it is important that the technical and vocational aspect of education should be expedited in the most positive way, because you're giving people, students, an opportunity to acquire skill and possibly come out as young entrepreneurs, even going into business themselves.
Right.
So this is very important. In fact, I can remember when I was at the academy, we used to have on our agricultural program, it was mandatory that we had some kind of plot, a small plot, that where we do our practicals. And let me tell you what happened at that little practical space that we had behind the school. And thank God to Mr. Aurelius Jolly. He's been a good agricultural teacher. He's retired now, but he's done well at the time he was there. And so we had a project with Cardi. I can remember when Cardi was active in doing community projects and doing a lot of technical work. And they came in and they actually established a plot of yams, Tanya, sorry for us. And at that time, the Tanya burning disease was prevalent, notwithstanding that we were able to do a handsome harvest. And you know what happened, Spags? We took that production to the market and we sold it. Yeah. And I said, what? I'm in school there and you can make money out of the soil? Wow. And that to me spurred me to come out and be a practitioner, agricultural practitioner itself. Yeah. And that's what spurred me to do farming. So I'm saying the technical and vocational aspect of our education should be very important. Even the culinary arts. A lot of people, Dominicans by nature, can cook. Yeah. And a lot of people, if they take that route where young persons are involved in culinary arts, and to do cooking, to do pastries, to do other aspects like cake, decorating design and baking. And so these are the things that you do. People can go in sewing. You just mentioned some of the other skill sets, electrical work, plumbing and so forth, tiling. These are the things too that can support people. In fact, I was amazed at some young people, particularly the female aspect in terms of the gender. People say a lot of women are not involved in technical work or skill work. No. I've seen a lot of women. Even sometime last week, I was so surprised. Not just that we have women now driving buses or driving trucks or even excavators now, burden excavators, but they're involved in all sort of work. I saw, I was doing a delivery sometime last month. And when I entered a certain room, I saw a woman laying tiles. Yep. So it tells you that, people should have a choice. And a lot of the time you have that academic thing. A lot of people don't like all that push around books and so. Yeah. But the point is, notwithstanding, you can have that vocational and technical aspect, being broadened so that people have a choice to choose and to go into craft and so.
When you have a skill, you're more marketable as well.
Oh, yes.
You can get a job anywhere you can in your field.
Yeah.
But when you have the academics, yes, you have the BS, BSc, you have the masters, you have the whatever you have. But you'll go there and you maybe look at job, maybe they'll tell you to experience or you're too qualified. But you as a skilled person, you can open your own business. And that is where you have a lot of young entrepreneurs around this doing the tiling, as I said, during construction, electrical wiring, plumbing. The skill set was there, but you had the training before the modules because you had training sessions taken in somewhere in Cassibruce. You had in Wesley, Laplin, Portsmouth, also in Granby, Roseau. They were organized by the youth division. There was also another training center in Dublin that was built on the United Workers' Party on the hill, and it's just empty.
Right.
So what these young men and women, what are we doing with them? We have the Nehemiah Comprehensive School. I have made that recommendation on several occasions in Parliament that utilize the Nehemiah Comprehensive School building facility in Jimit and use it as a school, a skills training center for the young people in Dominica, your catchment area. Maybe it'll be the main center. You have maybe other catchment areas in the north, east, and where else. But that building you have a lot of space. You could do auto mechanics. You can do carpentry, body work, everything in that yard. You have a lot of space where you can get the culinary arts, what you were speaking about earlier on, and get the young men and women trained. Then you get attachments for them somewhere in one of the companies to get them maybe a 3 months attachment with a little stipend. So you get them trained and you get them involved in part of the process and let some of them will move on their own. Some of them will get gainful employment from the same company. But you are taking out the workload on the state to provide for them. You're taking out the workload on the parents. It's a strain for them to have your sons and daughters at your home free in 23, 24 years. They're still home, not working. Not that they don't want to work, they don't have the skill set, and also there's no employment for them. Right. So when we have to go to NEP, you have children leave high school.
Yes.
And they in NEP, some of them might have to be on the roadside, finish college on the roadside.
And yeah, you're
That is,
correct. And you've made an important point. And even at that level, sometimes when you even before when we speak before school,
yeah,
primary school, some people have not completed high school,
yeah,
and the frustration level is high.
wow,
And again, some of those who are going to be graduated, now what's going to happen now? They're going to expose to those that don't want to continue, going to expose to an environment where work is not readily available.
right,
I mean, there's 50% unemployment among youth already,
right,
and with the spate of suicides that we are
right,
experiencing now, I am even more so concerned about the mental health
yeah,
and how it is going to affect them. And that is why we in the United Workers' Party and the 10 pillars we've talk about health transformation. And that is why we will ensure as a government, we will ensure the facilities and the institution with respect to health development and health transformation will be there to assist people who have mental health issues. And Honorable Hector John, it is important that we really keep in line because it is, it is really frustrating. We as adults, we know how hard it is.
yeah.
Sometimes you do a check at your home, do an audit. How many people may be at your home? You may be with your son alone. Some people have 3 to 4 people at home, on average, say 5. And you wake up in the morning and you open your refrigerator, nothing. You
Cupboards.
open your cupboard, nothing. And then you wonder what next. And all these things can get to you. And, already, because people cannot save, they cannot even think of going to withdraw. They get $10 by the time you do that. And it's really a tight situation. So all of these problems we are talking about, the socioeconomic problems, it can be directly related to mental health issues
Yeah.
and people who require now to get medical attention. And so it is a grave situation, and we really want to, we sort of, sympathize with a lot of families who have gone through this thing to understand that the family members have actually taken their own lives and so. And, we just wish God's blessing upon them. And to ask persons who are actually experiencing some level of mental health depression to find the right people to talk to or talk to somebody because you cannot solve it alone. Sometimes you just go to talk to somebody. I remember sometime a week ago, a young guy came to me and says, I don't know what to do again. I said, what is it that is on your mind? He says, well, there's no job. I cannot do anything. Can you employ me? I say, well, I already have 2 guys and I rotate 1 or 2 guys and they even on standby. And they say, well, look, what are you going to do? So he don't know. He just feel like just going somewhere and do something. Man, I said, no, you are young. You have life ahead of you. You have to get yourself into some skills training. Try to see whether you can be employed, have a small short-term attachment with somebody, go and do some carpentry work. You can go and do construction, and you can learn. Even if you ask the boss man, you don't really come for full pay, but you come to learn. And one day you'll be surprised. You may just have your own business and be able to employ people. And these are the things that people need to hear. So you see, we are in dire strait given the fact that inflation is high, the cost of living. And Honorable Hector John, it's just a sad situation.
Yeah. Let me just say good evening to Mr. Erasmus Lauren. He told me he's home and he's doing well. Just want to wish him all the best, continued blessings, and rest yourself, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
I will give you a visit, my brother.
Yes, you listen to the Workers' Voice here on Q95. In studios with me is Mr. Glenroy Coffey of the Roseau Central constituency. Mr. Coffey is also the PRO of the United Workers' Party. Tomorrow, United Workers' Party will be at the front of the Prevost Cinema or continue the sales of tickets for our car raffle. Noah, Toyota Noah will be raffled on the 25th of October 2025. Only $5. I'm saying good evening to my good friend in New Jersey, Mr. Peter Thomas. How are you doing? Good evening to you. Yes, Mr. Coffey, you made mention about you transition into the stress that our young people are under right now and mental health. And it is sad to see the amount of young people on the streets of Roseau. Just this afternoon, a gentleman and myself, we saw a few of them. We were talking about it. It's just sad. And it goes back to what you're saying, the lack of job, lack of opportunities, seeing the parents at home struggling and they cannot even assist the parents. But one of the situation contributing factors to that, some years ago, the government went to parliament and made legalize maybe an ounce of 28, right?
Yeah.
28 grams of marijuana or free trees in your yard.
Yes.
And encouraging the young men to light their spliff
Right.
in the public. And what you have young men 11, 12 going to high school have their 5 packs in the bag selling.
Right.
That is what you encourage. That's what you open the door for. Now it's a problem. Recently they wanted to ban the young men smoking in public,
Right.
but you encourage them.
Yeah.
If you had created the avenue for them to, since 2014, United Workers Party has been speaking about decriminalizing marijuana or making it legal that we can plant
Yes.
and sell and commercialize marijuana, medicinal marijuana to get a slice
Yes.
of the 30 billion or more by now
Right.
industry,
Yeah.
cannabis industry in the world right
That's
now.
right.
And you're telling me that we cannot 30 billion a year,
Yes.
cannabis industry, and Dominica's going to get a slice from. Dominica has some of the best soil, the best weather to plant high grade marijuana.
Right.
We know that there are some people planting the high grade marijuana in Dominica in the greenhouses.
Right.
But if you legalize it for them for our young men to partake in commercializing marijuana, selling it out there, getting an income from it, they will not go there and smoke marijuana and get themselves stressed out and end up in a psychiatric unit.
Yeah.
They will go there and make money.
Right.
They will go there and take care of help the parents pay the bills,
Right.
empower themselves, open their own industry, their own small business.
Right.
That is what we are looking at United Workers Party. That was 2014, 11 years ago. Now we are about forming a committee to discuss the whole marijuana cannabis discussion. We should have done that 11 years ago.
That's correct.
And have our young men and women involved in having their own business and not being users and abusers of the drug.
Yeah,
but at least they would empower themselves.
No, a critical point, and you've made that. And fundamentally, how I see it is that sometime last year we had an engagement in the Grand Fork constituency, and the honorable political leader engaged with a few guys at the bus stop, about 15 to 16 of them, and we had that discussion. And we were talking about the marijuana and how a lucrative industry it could be with respect to get into production and planting it for medicinal purposes. So therefore, our export would be based on strictly exporting for processing and to get to a byproduct medically. And one of the things that he said, the reason why they would not be even smoking if they weren't planting, they would not eat their profit.
Thank you very much.
So they wanted to get into active production, and therefore now, should they have gotten the opportunity to do that, they would be serious farmers. Now the point is, when you're doing in these things, you have to have strong regulations, and maybe some of them may not have adequate land, so you have to merge. So you have people portions of land, and you have to certify the area, and the government to get serious. But let me just tell you, the government know what it's doing. Yes, you talk about decriminalizing to an extent where you have free spliff.
Yeah.
But you don't tell them they can still arrest the guys,
Right.
So if they have a certain amount. Right, good. But what you could do one time, you could say, even if I gave you the green light to have free spliff, but I don't give you the green light to let go puffy me all about. And because let me tell you something, it's a serious matter. The guys smoke. The fumes. I heard some doctors, I listen to programs, and they say even sometimes, even the smoke itself is more dangerous than actually, so inhaling that, some people cannot inhale it, some people get sick. Now, the point is, what the government had to do, you had a choice. People should have a choice. You give people a choice to do things, but you don't give them a choice to wreck their life. Because I will tell somebody, people have their preference to do what they want. It's just like alcohol, whether you legalize it or not, some people will take the alcohol. Whether you tell them 100 times that some people, they can mash up your liver, it has adverse effects on the body, that is you have a choice to do what you want. But the point is, some guys who are doing that, some guys told me practically, this thing get them so now broken, they don't have the appetite to work.
Yeah.
So you have actually destroying a society of young persons who's supposed to be the next set of people to develop the country in terms of continuity for development. So here it is that you've given a green light, a carte blanche to smoke your life away, but the guys are not employed. And that's so sad about the whole
your
thing.
productive demographic.
Your productive demographic.
So if you want to destroy that, what do you have? What legacy do you have?
Yeah.
So we made a point earlier on about they're not getting food and how much the cupboard empty.
Yeah.
When we had agriculture, your cupboard was never empty.
Never empty.
Because you have you would plant your yam, your dashing, your plantain, you bring at your home. Next morning, if you cook too much dashing, you can fry the dashing next morning.
That's right.
And you would go on and you're healthy, and your smoke herring and your saltfish. But what happening right now is everything you have to buy.
Yes.
A hand of banana right now, maybe with 5 or 7 grain, is about $5.
That is correct.
And before we worked the BMC, we had bananas. Banana was king, banana was gold, but it was available for everybody.
That's right.
Right now you have to go and buy your rice, you have to go and buy everything to cook. Where you have the little that you have, you spending, if you're making $1,200, your expenses at the end of the month is $1,600,
Yes.
So
yes.
you're always in the reds.
Yeah.
So then you have 2 or 3 young adults at your home of working age,
Right.
and they are unemployed.
That's correct.
That is going to frustrate them, because at the age of 20 and 24, you want your mom to still buy t-shirts for you, underwears for you, or sanitary napkins, and you'll feel a way where you will want to work and go and buy whatever you want and tell mom or dad, I want to pay the internet bill or the water bill. So you'd make it easier on your parents. But right now, when they're at home now, right now you have a lot of them at the APU unit right now, or the Princess Margaret Hospital, at the hospital.
Yes.
Parents now are stressed out as well, because my son that I raised, what I do my best for them to have an education and whatnot, and now the country has failed them because they are not employed or underemployed. So that is where we are. How do we solve that? By creating the enabling environment for them to work.
Exactly.
Jobs. The United Workers' Party has always said that.
Yeah.
For you to have an economy that is buoyant, an economy that is working, you employ young people. How do you create the enabling environment? Farming must be your base.
Yeah. Yeah.
The land is still there. People still have to eat. You can export. That is where you start. For you to get, for example, you have short-term crops. You get crops within 6 weeks or let's say 12 weeks. You'll get some of them watermelon or maybe 12 weeks, 3 months. But then you have bananas. You can get bananas within 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
So you can get bananas.
Of course.
Go back into production.
That's right.
We, part of the Windward Islands, St. Lucia is still selling to the UK. We lost preferential treatment in the UK in 1999, but we still had our quota.
Right.
The boat is still coming to Dominica. We stopped selling bananas to the UK in January 2015.
Yeah.
Ask the government, why not go back to the UK left the EU? Why not go back to the UK and begin to negotiate and get back on the market?
Yeah, we're starting to get some calls back. But that's a good point, and but
I just want to first look at how we employment for young people. Yes, 4493095, 4493096. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Workers' Voice.
Yeah, good evening, Sprague.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, gentlemen. Sprague, you've been hitting some hard points there, boy. Hitting home.
Yeah, hard one.
I'm learning from you.
This is a reality, This is the reality in Dominica with our children.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Roosevelt Skerritt is sitting there telling us we should stop complaining that everything is okay. You saw that clip of Roosevelt Skerritt on the internet?
Yes.
Saying that we're complaining too much. We're just complaining.
Yes.
And he himself is complaining that we should stop complaining. I mean, he is complaining that we should stop complaining. And we know the reality. He's living in a dream on the hill in Mount Daniel in his double mansion. And he's telling the people who are facing that reality that you just described there to stop complaining. I mean, what does he think politicians are for?
Mm-hmm.
To complain to them so they can do things. They can
get
things. They can get them. He's just living like a king. You know the story of when they told the queen, Your Majesty, the people have no bread. He's saying, let them eat cake. That's what he's doing. Let them eat cake. And you know what the end result of that was? The farmers rose up and took that king out.
Right.
Took that queen out. So, you're going to get revolution. That is why those type of kings, they bolster their security by using all their soldiers and all that ready to kill the citizens.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing the job. If they were doing the proper job, if he was behaving like a prime minister who was concerned and creating jobs for the people, he wouldn't have to worry about security. People would love him. He could go anywhere without security like LeBlanc and all the other prime ministers, you know, but he's not doing the job.
Okay.
He's just securing himself in his castle. He's got to go.
Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution.
Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the Workers' Voice.
Yes, Pax. Good evening. Good evening to Soso.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Who else is there? Two of you?
Yes, two of us.
Two of us, yes.
Yes, and the caller is so right. There isn't any question of going back to EU and negotiating or anything like that in the start. It's scary, and that I don't know how to call them. They just have to go, just clear the way and make way for people who can run the country. Run the country. Because, as you said, the man is not interested in them. If he goes back to the EU, you know that assumption was because England was part of EU, so we had a quota on the market, and so on. But if you go back to EU, farmers will become independent once again. They will not have to come to beg him, and people going and genuflect to him, and he pass in. So he will not have the opportunity to pass in the villages himself and Floyd Capital and giving people $300 in envelope. That's how they were doing in Layo recently. So he's not interested in Dominica. So the only solution for Dominica is to vote up Roosevelt's carry so that Dr. Fountain and his team can come and take the country where it's supposed to be.
Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution. You're listening to the Workers' Voice here on Q95. In studios is Mr. Glenroy Soso Coffee or PRO, and from the Roseau Central constituency. Don't forget, tomorrow we continue with the sales of tickets for our car raffle that takes place on October 25th, 2025. Just $5. You can win a Toyota Noah or a smart TV or a tablet. So join us tomorrow. Just $5 in front of the Prevost Cinema. All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Workers' Voice.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night to you.
Okay. Magana.
Hello.
So Magana.
That was my grandmother.
That was Magana made.
Okay, good.
I was very close.
Oh my God. Thank
So
you.
much for that. Let me tell you that I love this program. You have to listen, you look, and you learn.
That's right.
And I went through my rough patches too, you know. And I can remember, so you forget to mention, there was that thing they call CAP at the St. Mary's Academy. Because my son went to St. Mary's Academy. Behind the building, they used to have little garden where children lived to plant tomatoes and everything.
Oh, well, yes.
But there was this man they called Mr. Robin, Gregory Robin, I think was his name, from Rose Street.
Yes.
Every summertime, children they used to have something, a contract. They used to take the children, pick some of them to go in the field to teach them how to plant things. So I can remember things were so bad. My son and my mother had a big basin on top of the house. Thing going in like Coupier 18 and this kind of thing there. When you plant a little Christophe in there, you feel something came up on a going and it makes so much Christophe. So when I come in, I take the little Christophe in, $3 for $4, and I out in almost, I was even baffled that time, and I sell and I make a good yeah. But I thought would stay in agriculture, but he went to school. I fight my way out. Brother German helped me. Many people CCF can save all these people there. The social center. I used to go down at the center. They would give me little things, and I fit in myself. And I fought with my 3 children all on my own. No father. Every father take their own way, all they could afford. And I stood there with my children. And when they could, I told them, and when they came, we were going to school, I do not want nobody to sit down in my house and to get something to eat. If you can get nothing, it's all right. Although we are in an old house,
That's
no
right.
bathroom, no toilet, we have to make our own thing. And you know, JSP helped my daughter to go to Goodwill School. And they had a woodwork and other things there. After that, when she got from school, she left to do little hair by children from sun. And she went with, and there, she went overseas, come back, go to BCC, they call it, and she did business administration yesterday in the work for Alex Lawrence and the Mr. Kwandani. As you know, she's in Anguilla, doing her best second.
Okay. Thank you very much for the background. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and my other son now, running away, can't want.
Pray for him. Pray for him. We are nowadays.
Running all around.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happens. Okay.
Yes, today
God.
with the help of God.
Yes.
Okay.
He's making both. He's Sprite, he's making fiberglass with down in Portsmouth. Yes,
Okay.
son?
All right.
Yes.
One day, and he did well at college. Mr. Paul give him one chance again to do master. He's a master today. He works at Tom Lake.
Very good.
At Tom Lake as he practicing class. So you
Con-
see, mothers have to stand up behind their children in spite of all what is happening. I'm not there to lambaste nobody. I'm not going to say nothing about our people that tomorrow you know where you're falling along the way. We just have to say things that are right, and mothers have to stand up behind their children and encourage them to go. But sometimes parents just say then government this or this and that and all kind of thing, and you do this and all this kind of thing there. The trouble is that you are the parent. You have to stand up with your children and encourage them. Do live in the little garden. I tell them anything you want to get, you know, to the street, do whatever you want. But don't go to steal and don't go to do something to anybody.
Congratulations for the work that you've done.
I'm not so hot like, but by the grace of God, I'm surviving. And thank you for all those people are helping me up to the date. That is how we have to go.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
For you, and that is how we go.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
All right.
Yeah. God bless.
God bless you.
Because
Yeah.
who can get the voice.
All right.
Thank you.
God bless. God bless. Yes, you make some very important points.
Very important point.
And it shows that that's how you help your children. Make you get opportunities for them, and when they get that opportunity, they have to run with it. You know, she said one was doing car and he go, no, he's a skilled fiberglass boat builder.
Builder, is
You
it?
know, so and that is
Yeah.
what we want to see happen in a community. I mean, it's sad to see the amount of young men who below 25 that's on the
Yeah.
street right now, young boys
Yeah.
and the teenagers that's on the street, and we have nowhere for them. We cannot take care of them. They have the place looking. They carry themselves. You know, they disrespect everybody, and you cannot blame them. That
Right.
is what they become a product of the environment. How do we change that? And I think I bring the point out to the government and thing. I was just more or less speaking openly. But a United Workers Party government, what we're saying there and what we bring out tonight is what a United Workers Party government will do, what it did before and what they'll continue to do. And that is critical for us.
Yes, very important.
Good evening. Welcome to the Workers' Voice.
Good evening.
Hello, are you here with us? Oh, we missed that
You
one.
know, and it's interesting, and not because we look at the downside of how the guys behave,
Yeah.
that we are blaming them altogether, because there are a number of guys who are productive,
Yeah.
who are doing productive things. They're into fishing, they're into agriculture. In fact, I'm impressed by a group of guys I see in Newton selling some of their produce, and sometimes I patronize. And it's a good vibe, but it should be more than that. And that is why we're talking about the NEP workers should be transformed in a more formidable way, in a more productive way, so the country could benefit. They could have been in farming, they could have been deployed in various areas of the economy. Yes, we have a call?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and that's what, yes.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Workers' Voice.
Hey, good evening, Spark.
Good evening, sir. Spags.
So good night.
Good night to you, sir.
So on the first thing I want to bring to your attention, I know you're in the area of Roseau. So you know, just across the Link Bridge, you have a roundabout. There is a young man. He sleeps. I think this is his home in a cave there.
Mm-hmm.
When I pass today, it's like it have a landslide coming
Yes.
down on the cave. So I wonder if that whole area where he was in that hole, let's say it slide down in the night, and maybe nobody don't really paying attention so much that he's living there. I would like the people in authority, if it's to get a proper home for him, what they can do for him. So I mean, as a man that grew up for Roseau, maybe you can have a better voice than me. I should have made us, because it's a human being not there, you know, somebody's son, somebody's family. So I just say, maybe you even know him better than me. And he's a young guy still. He always around the market. He's a tall, dark guy.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I stopped.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw some, land movement there. They actually in front of the whole collapsed, and they start cleaning and so. But luckily, he was out at the time. But you're making a good point.
Yes, it's something we have to pay attention to, because you can imagine if the whole piece where he was in there fell down with him inside there.
That's across the stadium there. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
But also you touch on some points there. What can be done? Do even you think you in the opposition side, do you think there is something that can be done? Because also you talk about local industry and start talk about our agriculture and how we can get it to trade. So even the tourist ships that come in here, we might be able to supply them with all what they not. We might be able to give all the ships, but even to our vegetables, our melons, our cucumbers on the island, do they have to meet a standard that they could sell to the ship, that the ship have to know they're very highly sanitized, because you work in the agriculture, to get them to this one or two of the ships, it is the Carnival ship or the Ida or the Dam, to buy some of those products and even some of our dry processing products, because one of the things I know they like the local chocolates that make on the island without much sugar, and the local spices like the spice oil, the spice powder, the ginger powder for them to cook, the bay leaf powder, the celery, the parsley powder. Do the ministry discover Dominica when they go out to do marketing? Do they talk to these people in that way? I know you have the former manager of the Gasper, the port, and he knows all about those shipping, and he was involved in a lot of the trade and negotiation for the ship. Don't you think people like that knows about the maritime boundary and thing on the water should be negotiating in those areas there with Discover Dominica? It's not just about promoting the island and for tourists to come. There is bigger thing, as Spark was saying, that we need to make money, because also I've been talking and I really getting a little bit discouraged, because to me, I don't think the government alone can do it. And that's why even whenever whoever government, and even this government there, I believe for things to change, I believe the Prime Minister office, I think the Prime Minister need an office out of financial center to assist. Even he have somebody acting when he's not there, but he need a voluntary to help, because I don't think the system can handle all that. I believe the people in those ministries, they not qualify, or they oppressing their own peoples. For some little simple things I see they pressing, I believe that is some of the things that choking up. So don't you think the even when you're in the opposition, don't you think there is some role which we can play to form cooperatives to get the people more understand how we can do our things without always leaning on the government? So it have money in the bank there for small business, 35 million. Don't you think we have enough money to buy a small ferry, some of those small ferry that does bring the passengers there, because they buy new ones and they always sell those old ones, and they're not so old, and it's right in Guadeloupe there, Martinique is not far to trade, because if you look at Martinique and Guadeloupe, there's a big demand for agriculture, food. If you notice the strike that have happened some months in Martinique there, it was the cost of food, and they don't want to eat some of the food because of the amount of chemicals. They ban some land in Martinique, they cannot plant. So I believe that is some of the things that I believe is the problem, because I think what have to happen, most villages have to do like Mr. Ito, and you have a young lady from Salisbury, I think Mr. Greber them had on JNL, had on the program, where she raising funds to do some projects in Salisbury, and what Ito doing, because that's how Ito going to get the young people to follow him.
Okay.
The young people not going to follow Ito. Ito have to do things to follow them, like the clean-up campaign, and you're going to have some, some reunion, and you're going to have some people like, I think, Wadix and Mr. Honeychurch to go out to the different communities. I think they're going to have a tour up to that thing soon. So even if Ito have that thing like that, and you get a band to play, gospel music and Shelly's and them, don't make the devil set a trap for you. The young people will follow, When you give them music and you're giving them, and that is where maybe the spiritual leaders will be able to talk to them, because Dominica seems to have a bigger problem than the politics. I believe strongly the minister, prime minister can't.
Yes, caller. Can you wind up for us, please, caller? Can you wind up?
I think
Wind up for
I
us,
don't think
please.
he can control the ministry. If he could control the ministries, things will be working better. And that is why I think he need a ministry out of government, out of financial center to help him. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, I mean, he's made a lot of good
Yeah,
points,
yes,
but in the absence of good government policies,
Right.
you're not going anywhere. Government can't do anything, but government policies are important
Right.
in terms of directing the various sectors, the growth sectors. And I will say too, yes, the responsibility of trade and marketing is vested right in the Ministry of Trade. And oftentimes you hear about agricultural production, the agricultural technocrats, they go out, they educate. And what you are not seeing is the presence of the Ministry of Trade, because you will have to have that marriage between trade and agriculture, and we have to know where it's going. But let me just say too, I've made the point before, and caller, for your edification, you have Dex here who has been given the green light to do. They're called export import agency, right? And therefore now Dex is hiding behind the rice and the sugar. I always say that. Because the point is, if you look at the reports of Dexter in terms of export, you have a dismal report. And in case of imports, they look good, right? So what is happening there? When you consolidate the books in terms of what comes in against what comes out, when you put it together, import and export report, they look good because you have like a profit made. Where the profit is made? The profit is being made from the imports, the sugar, the whatever. But in terms of export, they have failed. And we need what they call an export agency. So you should have, to me, my view is an export agency and an import agency. No longer that you should merge these things. Let us see the clear performance of an export agency where we can say straight, we target in certain markets, we target certain production, and we don't grow what we want to grow. We grow raw. Produce can grow. Red can grow. All the necessary technical work should be done. The land should meet all the necessary attributes, and to ensure that we target markets that we're going to sustain. It's not all about having a market, but sustaining it. And let me just say, you made a point. I made a proposal, to a few guys. I said, look, had the government put a serious program with respect to the cultivation of marijuana, I have 5.1 acres of land lying like that. Yeah. I told them I'm ready to provide transportation. I'm ready to do the initial investment. I've even given you all my van to go up to transport all your water, all your equipment, what you have. And I'll supervise the whole operation. I'll take records. I will do things. You work and you're going to harvest and you're going to have a good life. But instead, when I heard the Prime Minister say he was going in the Parliament to pass a law for marijuana, I heard his free spliff. So I come back and tell those guys, I heard the Prime Minister pass it. What he passed? He said, Mr. Nonsense, free spliff, the man pass. So I had to curtail the program. That's why I'm strong. I wanted to make sure I make contribution and I'm strong. Yeah. So I wanted to engage those guys on the farm, and we work in harmony and they get their fair share. So yes, we can do things while we're in opposition, and you've made a lot of salient points. But in the absence of good government policies, nothing will work.
And that is important as well. And ministers and competent ministers as well, and ministries.
That's correct.
Because that's one of our failures we had. We had back in the day. You had the Freedom Party, the previous Labour Party, the Freedom Party, United Workers Party. They all had below 10 ministries, and they performed. Right now, you have maybe you have 20 ministers.
Yes.
Who won the seat as ministers, and then you have who they brought in as senators, and who they make junior ministers. So if you count, you have about 20 ministers in a ministry serving about 70,000 people.
Yeah.
And that is a challenge that we have right now. How do we as a so you're talking about every minister serving about representing about how many 20 around 3,000 people.
You're correct.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, I'm following you.
So and you have that kind of salary they're getting.
Yeah.
And nothing is being done. You're not seeing our productivity increasing. You're not seeing the farmers. So he made mention about the column made mention about agriculture produce. For the past couple of years, who get most of the planting materials, the inputs, the tools? The ministers were getting them before. The former minister of parliamentary representative for the Cottage constituency, He took about, some years ago, he took about 4 greenhouses that came from Serbia for
Right.
young farmers. After the storm, not 4 years ago, so about 6 years ago.
Right.
We got after Maria for farmers, young farmers. And now they told me this greenhouse is abandoned now somewhere in Mona Luisa Sabanpai area. And you had one of them was for a farmer from, when I was at in Parliament, everybody was shocked. Sheldon is a barber and by bloaters in Portsmouth. And he had not gotten that greenhouse up to now. And he was priest from Penville. He was promised a greenhouse. And up to now, he had not gotten a greenhouse, but they're abandoned right now in Savanpai, Monalui area. And that is what we're getting a lot of the planting material. The president of Dominica got materials before, planting material before farmers, citrus plants before farmers. I know a lady in Lapley that prepare her land for citrus or grapefruit and everything. Good night, Sandra. And up to now, she have not gotten the plants.
Right.
You know, you have other farmers, they promise. The speaker of the house got planting material before farmers, and he have them stored in what do you call that place? In Pocassi. And some people end up stealing some of it. But you have farmers who prepare their land. They want to do, for example, we have 7 acres of land. We had chick crops that my father planted in 1970s. So the hurricane, old age, citrus greening, tristasia, every one of them had an effect on it. And so we just wanted about 200 plants to just replant the areas,
Right.
or some replacement plants. And up to now, we are asking for that plant since 2018 after the hurricane. So you're going on how many years now? 8 years, and we've got 1 plant to replant. I was told there are some plants coming in and these are the type of things you see. So when you have, for you to have trees to bear like your coconuts,
Yes.
coffee, cocoa, oranges, grapefruit, it'll take
Or let's say
between
trust.
3 to 5 years.
Right. Right.
We pass Erica now, Maria now. Erica for 10 years, Maria 8 years.
Right. Right.
And we have not done proper replanting programs for us to see us get that yield and get our farmers back on selling that. You see a grapefruit now, you might have to buy 2 grapefruit that half ripe for maybe for $5.
Yeah, and you made a good point, because let me just say the reality of the situation is that depends on failed agricultural policies.
Yeah.
When we had the Musa species in abundance, bananas and plantains,
Right.
we had large cultivations, and you had citrus integrated with that. So when you fertilize your bananas or your plantains, citrus get that. I can understand now with the citrus greening disease, and so you have problem. Tristasia, you have that. Okay, it's a problem. Even in Florida, they have the experience that as well. But it doesn't mean that you cannot revitalize the citrus industry. But we have to find a way to do it, because I think citrus orchard on its own in Dominica, it will be very difficult to manage. But you have to have some kind of intercrop and so. But again, the government is not serious about doing these things. And as you rightly said, those who benefit from these things are those who don't do anything. You see, at one time, I thought we were going to have a lot of agricultural development and production. I see a lot of people with FA. No, I'm not averse to people having FAs. Right. Dominicans are getting it. I'm proud, because Dominicans getting a relief on duty. Good enough. But at the same time, resi production correlates to the world, what you see. Right. And so don't embarrass the agricultural sector where you give a man a duty free and the transport never touched it. You know, I mean, come on. I'm supporting people getting duty relief, but show some little sympathy to the sector and do something. At least coming for garlic on your vehicle.
A guy told me he saw FA on a scooter. You know.
Well. Okay, fair enough. You can have an FA on a scooter. Yes, it could access certain areas where the van or the thing can go. Fair enough. But is that FA real FA? Right, yeah, is that product exactly? Right. So it's the policies of government, and I think we can do more. But Sparks, there's hope, because I saw dogs eating mangoes now because there's a lack of bones. People don't make any point. People don't come in on the time. And I leave it for my winding up. So you're going to say something.
No, somebody was asking you a question.
Yes,
so I don't read the question. If there's a change of government, how long do you predict it will take for citizens to positively feel the change?
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
there are some people, they have the notion that, when there's a change of government, that things going to be just stagnant. No, 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 no. Let me tell you something. We are quick thinking. We have done it before. We have a record. We have an established record of performance that we can do. But let me just say, if we're talking agriculture, for instance, you just made the point. There are short-term crops, there are medium-term crop, and a long-term crop.
Yeah.
I show in the short term, you can revitalize that agricultural industry in quick time. I'm sure when you talk about employment, if you target at least 500 farmers with 2 or 3 workers, that's 1,500 persons already employed.
Right.
Production going to you identify those markets. Let me tell you something. You do an assessment of what is there, and that's how you approach government. You come in government, you don't just start working. You assess the government, just boasting that so many projects. You assess what is there. You go in various ministries. You assess what projects are available, what projects are viable still, what projects are funding, what projects lack funding, and those that lack funding, are they still important to move forward? And then you'll make the decision based on that. That is correct. So you prioritize, you work with the people in various ministries, and you get going. But I can assure that person that while there may not be an estimated time, but in the quickest possible time, we will at least inject money into the economy, so that we can have this economy moving. And with Dr. Thompson Fontaine at the helm as an economist, and with that 10-pillar plan that we have, I believe that no longer you will see dogs eating mangoes, but dogs will get into engaging it in real bones, because right now I suspect it's chicken we cannot buy. That's why we do have bones to throw for the dogs. But I'm on a serious note though, which I'm very serious by the way. We need to embrace and to show us that you are willing to change this government. We are ready to govern for this country. You must invest your time in the United Workers' Party. We are a party of inclusion. We are not going to see a change in terms of the economy until such time that you have elected the United Workers' Party. We are appealing to you that we are the viable alternative, with a group of persons ready to do it. And by the way, our party is open to everybody. Everybody has a say. People with skills, we are not going to run them. They'll form part of nation building sparks.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. And let me tell you,
Yeah.
as you made up that point, a lady made a very important point to me some time ago. She said, Mr. John, we have been in an abusive relationship with this government for 25 years. And she said to me, any married lady who have been in an abusive relationship, or a child, any one of them who is in an abusive relationship with their parent at home, domestic violence and whatnot, as soon as you leave that home, you feel the change already. So as soon as we get out of that 25 years of abuse from this government, you'll feel the change already, because the energy, you'll be on a positive note. You'll be in a positive trajectory. You want to work hard. You want to develop your family. There's opportunities. You feel the hope springs eternal, and you want to see the country grow. You will invest your time. You'll invest your money, because the government creating that enabling environment for you. The government will look for the markets for you. The markets are there. As a government, the United Workers' Party government, you cannot right now. The French territories are becoming part of the OECS.
That's right.
Where we are located now, we have to begin to venture into Guadeloupe and Martinique and create opportunities for people. We have to work with companies in Martinique and Guadeloupe to come and open shop here. For example, you have your juice. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. You have a juicing factory in Guadeloupe and Martinique. How can we collaborate with a juicing factory? The amount of mangoes and guavas we have wasting there. We have the land to bring in to work with a business in Guadeloupe and Martinique, a juicing company, and come to Dominica, a canning company, come to Dominica and open shop. They'll open a branch here. They establish it, but our mangoes will no longer be wasting. Our guavas will no longer be wasting. Our soursop and whatnot. Our fruits, we'll be canning our fruits. We'll be on the European shelf, not only in Guadeloupe and Martinique. If we're part of Guadeloupe and selling to Guadeloupe and Martinique, we'll end up in France.
Yeah, exactly.
And these are the type of things we have to start looking. How do we create so our young men and women will get off the roadside? They will stop smoking their lives to madness. But that's what happening. The smoking and getting mad and end up in the psychiatric unit, and where we can utilize them, their productive years. And these are the type of things that we, as the United Workers' Party, we look at holistically. How do we look at ensuring our young men and women are employed and they can take care of their parents? How do you tell me right now you have to be paying a daughter to take care of her mom at her home.
That's madness. Well,
When you grow up, the thing is that the young people go to work and the elderly stay home and take care of the family. If there's an auntie cooking for everybody come home. So we have totally the extended family is totally non-existent. Just the nuclear family we have right now,
well,
and a single parent household.
a lot of single
Yeah,
parents.
right. We do not have the extended family where you have the guanlaku
Ah,
and one person and auntie cooking or granny cooking, and she takes care of all the 6-7 children in the family. You don't have that
correct.
anymore, and the mothers and fathers go there to work. So these are the challenges that we have. And as you said earlier, on the United Workers Party is committed to ensure that our young men and women get the opportunity to work and empower themselves, build their own homes, grow their families. Right now, men and women are afraid to make children because they cannot take care of the children. Who's going to take care of them? You got to send the child by auntie anymore, or you got to even roast a banana for them.
No,
and these are the challenges.
the words grandparents used to be proud of their grandchildren. Posa forever, Ali. I don't have food. So that's very bad. No, but it's true. And just as we wind down because of our time, I just really want to, because we are bringing hope to the people of Dominica. The 10 pillar, strategic plan for Dominica is a way out, and the political leader has been going around. And by the way, next week we'll be in Grand Fork constituency with the community town hall to continue to educate the people and to ensure that we actually give them hope, and that's what they need. And we talk about the economic empowerment in terms of shared prosperity for us to achieve this. We talk about the public servants increase, which is very, very important. We need to do that. We talk about the wage bill. While we're talking about the wage bill, and we talking about empowering people and their ability to have purchasing power. You heard about a $12 per what do you have? $12 per hour?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So that is very important. The tax reform in terms of what we're talking about, healthcare transformation, talking about Kalinago tourism and environmental development, talking about agricultural development with respect to the water industry and manufacturing, youth opportunity and retention. Not only creating opportunities for them, but to retain them to work. Talk about infrastructure progress, free the roads, Spags, you have been talking about that, renewable energy. And as we have renewable energy, I cannot understand how Dominica is consuming between 18 megawatts to over 20-something megawatts. And you're building a geothermal plant that can only generate 8 megawatts. I mean, and you're boasting about you'll give Matnik and Guadeloupe, you'll sell the excess to Matnik and Guadeloupe. You don't even have enough for yourself. Right. Or are you going to sell? So we are not doing reverse economics. We are talking about progressive economics. And so we talk about social equity and inclusion. No longer that you're going to be selective, our government will come and give some, So, and talk about transparency in government, accountability, good governance. So that's what the foundation of the 10 pillars will strike on, and to bring shared prosperity to the people of Dominica. And that vision is very, very much embraced and resonating with Dominican people. And we want you to support us with respect to getting in government to have these things executed on your behalf, so that you will be part of the shared vision, you'll be part of the shared prosperity, you'll be part of development. Dominica will move forward. And just as the person asked the question, how quick can we get, this economy to be reignited and to be buoyant? Because of these 10 pillars and more, and the expertise that we have within the party and outside of the party, we can get it done. No longer that Dominicans overseas will just have a mouthpiece to just say things. No longer they'll be valued for their vote and then turn your back on them. We'll ask them to contribute in nation building. They are well trained and they can play a very good part with respect to the growth sectors, and to contribute where applicable, particularly where they are most strong in terms of their skill set and their training. So yes, we are ready to take Dominica forward. We've asked you to help us, that we help you, and the way you're going to help us to get us into government. And as we say at Spark, it is important that we note that on the 1st of September, this is when the reconfirmation is going to take place. So we're asking people now to check to see if their names are on the list. Get your IDs ready, run necessary, get your IDs, make sure that you have it. Check to see if your name is on the list, so that, because historically your name would have been on the list because you're an existing voter. You have to reconfirm. You have to ensure that you get reconfirmed within the reconfirmation period, so that you can make that decision to use your democratic hand to remove this government. So we urge you, Dominicans, that there is hope. We are inspiring hope in you. You have asked us to go out to interact with the people on a one-on-one. We're doing interpersonal contact. We're doing one-on-one. We're doing group contact. Right now, we're in mass media mode. We are doing all we can, even via Facebook and social media platforms. We are trying to bring out the messages to you. We are just asking you to help the cause. Do what you have to do so that we can attain victory to rescue this country from this economic morass and downturn, because we are reversing, we are regressing as opposed to progressing. So Sparks, let me say thank you for the opportunity to all the lovely Dominicans. Mr. Roberts, I know is listening in Grand Bay.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts and family. You know, my Bessie, I always know you said once Sparks is on and so is on, you are not going to sleep. I hope you can take your rest now. We finishing earlier. So my Bessie, I enjoyed your last time, the birthday bash. I hope another one comes up. We wish you good night. All Dominicans, we wish you a good night. But we have a fundamental mission. We are on a crusade to ensure that we disseminate information broad across the spectrum of Dominican, across the world. We need your support. Let us do it together. We can do it. We are the viable alternative to rescue this country with the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fontaine as lead economist, as world-renowned economist. We are ready to work. We have all of us of diverse backgrounds that will help him here. He alone cannot do it. He alone is not a team. He alone is not a party. He alone is not a country. He has the backing of his team to ensure that the work will be done and to get the necessary results to make Dominica a better place to work, live, and to enjoy life.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Coffee. We have had a very good discussion. We look at our young people who graduated and whatnot. We also look at the serious problem that we have with suicide and whatnot, our young people on the outside. And also we made some very positive recommendations. And that's what I like about United Workers' Party. Very practical recommendations that we can take our country forward.
That's correct.
Some people tell me that you mustn't talk about your plans and programs. We have to. No matter what, because you're going to tell me 25 years has passed by and you expect the government to come and say they're going to tip your projects. No, these projects, they cannot implement. This is a cannot do government, as Mr. James said some years ago. But we just want each and every one of you out there to look at where you are today. Ask your parents about the years of United Workers' Party. You have seen a government, some of you, you're 30, 35. You have only seen and experienced one government, and you have not moved forward. Have you moved forward? You see what country where it is right now. So I just want to encourage you to continue to have hope, continue to work hard, challenge your government. Challenge your government. Right now, we are faced with some situations in visa restrictions to the EU, and also we might get visa ban to the US. And so it's a serious situation. That's where most of us have our family in the UK and North America.
That's
and
right.
It might be very difficult for us to go on vacation or even get things from the UK, from the US. So we have to look at it very serious. The government was given 2 more months, so somewhere in August, the US will be taking a decision on how they deal with Dominica and the other passport selling countries in the Caribbean.
Right.
Thank you very much for listening to us. I just want to remind the people of Salisbury on Wednesday will be village council election. I just want to encourage everybody to go out there and vote for the 5 people that they believe should lead your council for the next 3-year term. So I encourage each and every one of you to go out there before you go to work, or if you go to work, come back home, exercise your franchise. Do not say it's just village council. Go there and vote a team that you think would be the best team to run the village for the next 3 years. So just once again, thank you for joining us. Glenroy Soso Coffee, or PRO from the Roseau Central Constituency. I am Hector Sparks John from Salisbury. That's my good friend in Mount Prosper. She said that I'm listening because of Sparks. So my good friend, my good labor friend from Miss Leafam, good evening to you in Mount Prosper. Good evening to all of you who message me. I'm the Trucker Louis, who messaged as well saying he's listening. Mr. Lipson Massicot from Thibault. He might be up there in Canada with his children. Good evening to you as well. So to those of you at home and abroad who listen to us, join us next week Thursday for the Workers' Voice. Until then, God bless you and have a wonderful night.
Yeah, man.
living in the positive. And I know good, we conquer evil. Jah is here amidst the battle. And I know love, we overcome it. Oh, yeah. Living in the positive. Oh, children, let not your hearts be troubled. Wipe away your tears and fears. Cause I know love, we conquer evil. Oh, even through my darkest nights. Oh, fear not, Jah is on my side to protect us. Even though the rats are outside, Lord, fear not, how my chances are slim. Your time my hopes are so high. Living in the positive, and I know good, we conquer evil. Jah is here amidst the battle.